The morning begins with Kai seated at the dining table. The butler politely greets him and serves breakfast, but Kai immediately notices how simple and tasteless the food is. He realizes the meals are being prepared by a butler who has no experience in cooking, and he can't help but think how pitiful this so-called life of a prince really is. When the butler apologizes, Kai coldly tells him not to apologize if he has any pride, but warns that the quality of the meals must improve and quickly. Later that day, at the academy entrance, the students gather for their morning classes. As Kai quietly walks in, lost in thought, a voice calls out to him. It's Joshua, the same bully who once tormented the old Kai. Joshua mocks him, saying he heard Kai roughed up his boys yesterday and accuses him of getting carried away. He sneers at Kai, reminding him that he is nothing more than a descendant of Liam, and that defying them is unforgivable. The other students echo Joshua, shouting that Kai should be shown his place. At Joshua's command, the gang starts throwing stones at him. Everyone expects Kai to cower in fear, but instead, he stands frozen, completely still. The students laugh, thinking he might even wet himself. But then, something changes. Kai's cold stare cuts through them, and one by one, they lower their hands, unable to keep going. Everyone is stunned into silence. Joshua, frustrated that his lackeys have stopped, steps forward himself. He raises his fist, shouting for Kai to know his place, and swings at him. But the moment his punch lands, Joshua's own hand shatters from the impact. Shock ripples through the crowd as Kai calmly mutters to himself that this body may be weak, but the truth is undeniable. Holding his injured hand, he casually shakes it, and to everyone's disbelief, the wound begins to heal on its own. Horrified, Joshua summons flames into his palm. He hurls a fireball directly at Kai, but Kai instantly raises an ice wall, reflecting the attack right back at him. The fireball explodes on Joshua, sending him flying into his own gang and knocking them all down in one strike. The onlookers are left speechless. Just then, a fat teacher storms in, furious at the scene. He scolds Kai, accusing him of causing trouble, and declares that Kai needs to be taught another lesson. Kai tries to explain that they started it, but the teacher silences him, demanding obedience and ordering him to follow. The other students mock Kai from the sidelines, betting how long he'll be out this time. Suddenly, Kai is hit with a sharp headache, and flashes of memory surge through his mind. He sees the teacher mercilessly beating the old Kai. Rage boils inside him as he realizes this man was another tormentor. The teacher barks at him again, demanding he hurry, but Kai only smirks inwardly, hiding his amusement behind a calm facade. As he follows behind, Kai thinks to himself with icy confidence, a slowpoke like this needs to be disciplined, and he'll make sure to beat that rotten nature right out of him. Kai is dragged into a dim chamber and chained to the wall. The heavy door shuts with a metallic thud as his teacher locks it, mocking him with a sneer. He laughs at the idea that he only punished Kai 3 days ago, yet here he is again, as if he were some pervert who enjoys being beaten. His words turn even more venomous as he spits insults, calling Kai a fake royal, a vulgar loser, born from the blood of a whore and a traitor. With a wave of his hand, a twisted purple aura gathers around him, his dominance pressing down on the chained boy. The fat teacher looms closer, grinning cruelly. He mocks Kai again, asking why he isn't crying and screaming like usual. Normally, that was the only thing Kai was good at. An enforcer at his side even comments that something feels strange, Kai isn't trembling anymore. Perhaps his mind has finally snapped. The teacher sighs, disappointed, saying he thought Kai would be the perfect toy to relieve his stress. He raises his whip, ready to hear those familiar cries of pain. But as the whip cracks down, it suddenly halts in midair. An ice hand has appeared, clutching it tightly. In shock, the teacher stumbles back, staring as an ice golem takes form before his eyes. Kai lowers his head, his voice calm and icy. He says he noticed this body was covered in whip marks, and now it's clear who the culprit was. With a sudden surge of power, he shatters the chains holding him. The teacher panics, shouting for him to stop, but Kai only lifts his hand. The ice golem twists the teacher's wrist, forcing a scream from him. Kai coldly warns him not to speak without permission, or else his other hand would be next. He steps forward, eyes filled with quiet rage. Kai says it seems this teacher hurt the old Kai quite a bit. The teacher trembles, trying to excuse himself, saying it was merely part of his education. Kai's tone sharpens. If whipping is truly a lesson, then he should demonstrate it himself. He orders the teacher to strip and whip his own back. The teacher recoils in horror, shouting that it's impossible. In response, an icy arrow shoots past his face, embedding itself in the wall. Kai warns him that if he refuses, he'll be pierced by ice instead, and this time, there's no guarantee he'll survive. Terrified, the teacher breaks down and agrees. Stripped and shaking, he begins whipping himself under Kai's cold gaze. The sound of each strike echoes painfully across the chamber, the belt slamming into his own flesh. Red welts bloom across his back as he lashes himself again and again. By the time he reaches 100, he collapses to his knees, panting heavily, thinking it's finally over. But Kai only smirks. He tells the teacher not to look so relieved, he has no intention of letting him go just yet. The camera pulls back to reveal the teacher broken and trembling on the ground,